Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Brandon Champ Robinson with Imagination Upgraded. And finally, I am doing something that I've been putting off forever and I've been wanting to do. And I'm finally doing the Imagination Upgraded podcast. And I know most people are going to be expecting this to be all about filmmaking, which obviously is going to be some filmmaking on this podcast and some filmmakers, directors, and actors and people who I come across that are going to drop some knowledge and some game, on you guys. But I also want it to be a podcast to motivate you and a podcast to give out that good energy. So I'll also be talking to some people and having conversations about that, just motivation, energy, what it's taken for them to get from their situation to where they are now, whether they are at the top, in the middle, or still working on that climb. I want to be able to touch on all of those different kinds of people. I don't want to, only go after the people who are already at the top of their game. I want to go and talk to some people that are in my life that I've come across that, they are making a living doing what they love to do. They're making a living chasing their passion, whether it be film, fashion, dance, whatever. They're doing what they love and making money and making a living at it. So that's what I want to do with this podcast. Just a little bit about myself. Most of you, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Brandon Champ Robinson. Champ is not my middle name, but everybody calls me Champ, so feel free to just call me Champ. Moved here to California from Milwaukee, Wisconsin about 5 years ago, back in 2014. Packed up, moved my family out here, my wife, 2 kids, 2 dogs. When I moved to California, that was the first day I had ever been in California in my life. So talk about just jumping. I just packed up everything and we jumped out here. We said we're going to figure it out. We're going to make it happen. And that's what we did. Now, not saying that I just came out here on blind luck, blind faith, anything like that, because that's not true. We did save up for about a year, just saving, working, grinding, selling things, downsizing to get out here, because my one biggest thing that I said I was not doing when I moved to California, and I'm never doing it. I'm never driving back home to Milwaukee, and I was not driving to California. So I made sure I bust my ass to earn enough money to get that pod and dump all our stuff in a pod and have somebody pick it up and take it to California. Make sure we had our cars shipped to California. And me and my family, we jumped on the plane and we arrived in California in 4 hours, 5 hours instead of 32. So that's one thing that I was not going to do. Now, the decision for me to move to California came in about, I would say, 2012. I had a neurosurgery. And when I had this neurosurgery on my head, I had a arteriovenous malformation, AVM for short. And basically what that means is the blood cells was pumping too much blood to the capillaries in my head. And at some point, they're going to keep trying to grow and keep up, but they can never keep up. And at some point, they will rupture. And at that point, I can have an aneurysm, a stroke, anything like that. So that scared the shit out of me. Went in and had the procedure. It was supposed to be a 2-hour procedure. That 2-hour procedure turned into 8 hours. So now this is what really scared me and really jumped me to the next level. I went under, we all prayed. Family was there. We all prayed. I got the anesthesia was coming in and it got me feeling good. I started cracking jokes and laughing. I remember all that. I remember being wheeled off and everybody saying bye, Graham's crying, Mom's crying, dropping tears, everybody got their prayers up. And then all of a sudden, boom, I was out. And then boom, just like that, with the snap, I was right back up. It was like a blink of an eye. But when I blinked that eye, I looked up. I was in the recovery room. I looked up and I was looking at a bright light. And this bright light I thought was the end. I thought I was at the gates. I thought I was, seeing God, seeing Jesus. I thought it was it for me. Then all of a sudden I started to feel pain in my arm. It was on fire, like I had been laying on it, like it was sleep. And, waking up, so all the nerve endings were tingling and all that stuff. And then everything started to not be so blurry. And I noticed that I was in the recovery room and the nurse came over and, she said, "Hey, he's awake, blah, blah, blah," all that good stuff. So I say that really the recovery room, I know you need those lights, but damn, for that to be the first thing you wake up on, that is crazy. So I go into the recovery room, take me to the OR, I think it's called, whatever, the recovery ICU. I was in ICU for a bit just so they could monitor me. And they put these leg compressors on me, which is the most irritating thing I ever felt in my life to keep me from getting blood clots. And, I talked to my wife and she said, you were gone for 8 hours. We didn't know what was going on. 8 hours. It was supposed to be a 2-hour procedure. 8 hours. That scared the shit out of me because I felt at that moment, I didn't know where that time went and I could have been gone. And I felt like I was not walking the path that I was supposed to walk, which is chasing this dream and, this talent that God's given me to create. I wasn't chasing that dream. I was being very complacent. I was making decent money working for the state of Wisconsin. I love that job. Worked with the state public defenders. Met some of the best people I ever met in my life there. Got some lifelong friends from there. And I was really complacent. And I realized that once I was laying, in that bed with the freaking catheter and the leg compressors, and I can't eat right, I can't walk right anymore because my equilibrium is all off, and I'm stumbling everywhere, can't really use the bathroom by myself. So I was there in recovery for about 4 days until I could get up and go to the bathroom by myself, or I could get up and take a couple laps around the ICU, without being assisted. So from there, I decided that I was going to move to California and do what I wanted to do. It also sparked me to start writing my first screenplay, which honestly is my first feature film, I should say, which is funny because I still have not finished that. And it's just really, I started it and then I was using the Blackmagic Raw. I mean, not the Blackmagic Raw, the Magic Lantern Raw hack for the Canon 5D Mark III. So I was using that. And that workflow was crazy. And I guess I just really wasn't ready for that workflow. And let's say I just had to give it up. So I still have that screenplay that will be done, which is the reason I started doing Imagination Upgraded as a YouTube channel in the first place. So fast forward a little bit, after I got off and I had to take all the steroids and stuff so my brain wouldn't swell, and I was very irritated because that roid rage stuff is real, and I was just trying not to talk to anybody. I just got in my laptop and I was writing, and I ended up writing the Harley Quinn web series, and that was the first thing that I produced on YouTube outside of putting out music videos and things like that. And that got a buzz. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people enjoy it. A lot of people still wait for season 2, Poison Ivy, which is coming. Just been really busy working on things. So that leads us to here. I get to California and I'm grinding, busting my ass, and it leads us to here. So since I moved to California, I have created numerous shorts. I have directed one full feature-length film. I have edited 5 full feature-length films. I've edited a feature-length documentary, and I've done just tons of other short films, short mini docs, short assets for social media, for YouTube channels. I've done stuff for Netflix, done stuff for the TV show Atlanta. The new movie, My Name is Dolomite with Eddie Murphy. I've done a ton of things. So what I want to do is, with that knowledge that I'm gaining as I'm going through this journey, I want to be able to sell it. I want to be able to, not sell it, excuse me. I want to be able to share it. And this is a free podcast, obviously, so it's not selling it. But I want to be able to share it and hopefully let you guys know some of the bumps and bruises that I've taken, and you will be, you won't take those bumps and bruises, and we'll be able to navigate this thing a little bit better. I also want to be able to make this very, very interactive. Hopefully we can get people talking, get a conversation going, build a little network, build up the gang, build up the block. You know what I mean? It's all about family with me and, raising these kids. Oh, and by the way, I came here to California with a wife, 2 kids, 2 dogs. Now I have a wife, 3 kids, and 2 dogs. So it's growing. And also I have a full-on business. I'm doing this completely full-time with an employee. Got 1 employee right now and a couple freelance employees here and there. But I'm doing it. I'm making it work, and we're making it happen. So this is what this podcast is about. I just wanted to do a quick intro to this. I've already recorded 1 episode, and that episode went well. It went long, so it's split into 2 because I know podcast sweet spot is about 45 minutes to an hour. So it is split into 2. And I want you guys to let me know. It's with a good friend of mine, Mike Taylor. We went to high school together, and he has a great story. He played in the NBA, currently plays in the Big 3 League, Ice Cube's Big 3 League, which is amazing. I want you guys to check that out and really listen to what he has to say and kind of understand where we come from, Milwaukee-wise, in Milwaukee, and what we come from and how we're able to overcome adversity and really keep pushing towards our goals and dreams. With that being said, this is the first, and I know I don't really have all the proper equipment yet, but I got a microphone. It might be popping a little bit because I don't have the pop filter in front of it, but we'll fix that. And going forward, it will just continue to get better and better. Most of these, hopefully, will also have a YouTube video attached to them. If they do not have a YouTube video attached to them, obviously you'll still get the audio wherever you can get podcasts and on YouTube. But I do at some point want to make sure that I'm always getting video because I'm a very visual person, and it's just better that way when you can see the people that I'm talking to and see our emotions and see what we're going through and what we're trying to explain. And when you're bored, just watch something, put it on in the background and listen to us talk some shit. I don't really know if you're supposed to be cursing on podcasts. I will research that even more and figure it out. But like anything, I know this will probably only get like 10 views, 10 listens, that kind of stuff until it builds up. But got to stick with it, and I know it's gonna build up from here, and it's gonna get better. Every time it's gonna get better. I mean, right now I'm just doing this in my little home office, and I know it's not soundproof, but everybody is asleep, and I'm doing it in the middle of the night. I'm making it happen. That's really what it's all about. So again, bear with me. Hope I give you some interesting topics, some interesting conversations, some upgraded conversations. I am starting this on a second channel, Imagination Upgraded More, because I'll be uploading this to a second channel, Imagination Upgraded More, because I want to keep like my filmmaking stuff over there and what I'm doing, and then I want this to be a channel where I can put anything that I'm feeling as far as filmmaking or just lifestyle or whatever. I want to be able to put that over here and kind of keep the main channel a little clean so people can get their seasons and their good Harley Quinns and any other short films or anything that I come up with and throw on there. So I'm going to sign off right now. I don't know how long this is. I don't know how long it should be, but I don't have anything else to say, and my throat is getting dry. So thank you for tuning in to the intro episode. I don't really call this episode 1. This is episode 000. And stay tuned for the next one, episode 1, part 1, and part 2. Thank you. Catch y'all in a minute. Peace.